everyone, welcome back. Today we're moving from governing the network with GPOs to managing the data itself. We're setting up a professional file server. Before we click anything, we have to clear up the most confusing part of Windows administration, the double lock system. Think of your server like a high-security office building. 1. Share permissions are the front gate to the property. If you aren't on the list at the gate, you can't even get on the lawn. 2. NTFS security permissions are the keys to the office inside. Once you're through the gate, you still need a specific key to open a specific door. To get to the data, a user must pass through both. If either lock is closed, they aren't getting in. Today, we're going to set up 1 front gate and 3 office doors. First, we have share permissions. Think of this as the front gate to the property. This makes your folder visible to other people on your network. Without a share, your folder is invisible to everyone else. It's like your building doesn't even have an address. Why we use it? It's the entry point. By setting this, you're telling Windows, I am allowing people to come off the network and step onto my lawn. If your name isn't on the list at the gate, you can't even see the building, let alone try to open the front door. Once you're through the gate and on the property, you hit the Security tab, also known as NTFS Permissions. These are the keys to the office inside the building. What it does. While the share gets you to the folder, Security controls what you can actually do with the files inside. Can you read them? Can you delete them? Can you edit them? Why we use it? This is where the real control happens. It's much more detailed. It allows you to let someone into a main folder, but keep a specific private file inside that folder locked tight. It even works if someone is sitting right at your computer. Here's the catch. Windows is very cautious. It always defaults to the most restrictive setting between the 2 locks. The bottleneck. If the front gate share is wide open but the office door security is locked to read only, the user can only read. They got through the gate, but they don't have the key to move the furniture. The blockade. If the office door security gives you a key to everything, but the front gate share guard says, I only let people in to look, the user is still stuck with read access. They have the key, but the guard wouldn't let them bring their tools inside. Managing 2 sets of locks for every single folder is a headache. To keep things simple, follow the best practice used by the pros. 1. Open the front gate wide. Set your share permissions to everyone with a change permission. This ensures the gate never becomes a bottleneck. 2. Manage the security keys. Do all your actual locking and unlocking under the Security tab. This gives you a single place to manage everything. If a friend or coworker can't get into a file, you know exactly which tab to check. Welcome to the lab portion of this video. We're going to put our theoretical knowledge to the test and gain some practical, hands-on experience. Let's build the foundation. We want a modular setup, so we only have to manage 1 network share. Open your C drive or your data drive and create a new folder called Company Data. This is our root, or our front gate. Now, double-click to go inside the Company Data folder. We're going to create 4 subfolders. New York Private, California Private, Florida Private, Public Resources. I'll give you a second to get those named correctly. This structure allows us to map 1 single drive letter to the root, but control exactly what people see inside it. Now we set the share permissions. Remember, this is the perimeter. Right-click the Company Data folder, then select Properties, and choose the Sharing tab. Click Advanced Sharing and check Share this folder. Click Permissions. By default, everyone is there. We want to be a bit more professional. Click Add, type Authenticated Users, and click OK. Give authenticated users the change and read permissions. Remove the Everyone group. You might be thinking, why give everyone change access? Because this is just the front gate. We are telling Windows, if you have a valid login to this domain, you are allowed to walk onto the property. We will use the Security tab next to lock the actual office doors. Now for the internal locks. This is the Security tab, also known as NTFS Permissions. Stay in the Properties tab of the Company Data folder, but click the Security tab. Next, click Edit and then select the Add button. We're going to add 3 location-based security groups to the Company Data folder: California users, New York users, and Florida users. This will define exactly who has access to this data. With our California, New York, and Florida groups added, we have our keys, but they don't have any power yet. Before we clean up that default users group, let's set our baseline. We're granting these 3 groups read access at this level. This allows the location groups to see the subfolder structure before we get more specific with their private data inside. Next, we need to take full control of this folder. Click Advanced, and then click Disable Inheritance. When the prompt appears, choose Convert Inherited Permissions into Explicit Permissions on this object. Now, why are we doing this? By default, every folder you create inherits its security settings from the folder above it, in this case, the C drive. If we don't disable inheritance, we can't delete the default users group because those permissions are locked in from above. By converting them to explicit permissions, we are telling Windows, stop looking at the parent folder for instructions. I want to manage the security for this folder specifically. This gives us the delete power we need to kick out the general users group and keep our data private. While we're still in the advanced security settings, we need to make a small but critical adjustment. We want our California, New York, and Florida groups to have read access here, but we want it for this folder only. To do this, click on each location group and change the Applies to drop-down from this folder, subfolders, and files to strictly this folder only. Here is why this matters. We want them to be able to see the company data root folder so they can find their way around, but we don't want these permissions to trickle down into the private subfolders. By limiting the scope to this folder only, we ensure that the only way they get into a specific subfolder later is if we explicitly give them a key to that specific room. It keeps our modular setup clean and prevents any accidental data leaks. Now that we've secured our location groups, it's time for the final cleanup. Select the General Users group and click Remove. Since we've already disabled inheritance, this group is no longer locked in. By removing them, we're closing the last back door. Now, only the specific groups we've authorized have the keys to the building. Double-click the Company Data folder. Now, it's time to hand out the specific keys for each subfolder. We're going to map each location to its corresponding security group. For example, we'll open the California private folder and add the California users group with modify access. We'll follow the same process for Florida private and New York private, adding their respective groups with those same modify settings. Finally, for public resources, we're adding authenticated users, but granting them read and execute only. This ensures everyone can access the files, but no one can accidentally delete them. We don't want our users manually typing in paths. Let's make the S drive appear like magic. Go ahead and click Group Policy Management. We're going to create a new GPO by right-clicking Group Policy Objects. We're going to name the GPO Map Drives Company Data. Right-click the new GPO and click Edit. Navigate to User Configuration, Preferences, Windows Settings, Drive Maps. Right-click Drive Maps and select New. Make sure the action is set to create. The location for the map drive is //DC/ company data. DC is the server's name. Company data is the share name. I will use the letter S as the drive letter. Now that we've created our GPO, let's link it to the domain and test it. Time for the moment of truth. I'm logging in as a user who belongs to the California users group. I'm running the command pupdate/force to make sure the new policy hits. Now, let's open File Explorer and look at this PC. There it is. The company data folder share is mapped to the S drive automatically. Let's test how we did on the permissions. With being a member of the California users group, I should only be able to access the California private folder and have modify permission. With the public resource group, I should only have read and execute permission. And that is how you manage an enterprise file server. Sharing provides the visibility, NTFS provides the modular control, and GPOs provide the automation. Thanks for watching, hit subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.